But here's what I want the doctor to respond now. Can you hear me right now, Dr. Greg?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'd like you to tell the audience when you went over this narrative report with the attorney, when you came back with it and you went over it with the attorney, what did he say about this narrative report?
His words were he was impressed.
Anything else?
Um, he had a couple questions, but you know, he thought it was real good.
And were you able to explain to him how you took the 12 steps and you slowly built each step together and stacked one on top of the other?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
And how do you feel about that?
yeah, he agreed, and he liked it. Yeah,
Did he comment in any way or form if he'd ever had a narrative report like this in his 30 years of practice in law?
he didn't say specifically, but like I said, his tone and his agreement, he was impressed, and like I said, uh, you know,
And then
he
how about what did you were you able to point out the importance of the impairment rating relative to the how it affects his pain and his ADLs?
yeah,
And what do you have to say about that?
yeah, I can't remember exactly, Paul, but he he usually, when I pointed something out to him, he said, "Okay, yeah," and you know, like what I was showing him.
So overall, when you finish going over in other words, remember after you do the narrative report, you go back to them and essentially it's reselling. You're reconfirming your authority and trust. Can you see this?
Yeah,
You're kind of driving the stake in the coffin. That's what you're doing when you do this. And showing him, when you go through all those steps, you showed him and reinforced that you know how to put a case together, even if the case doesn't have the documentation. Do you know how important that is?
yeah,
That's the single most important concept to get across for attorney referrals. That they know you know all the categories and steps to document A and B, how to put it together and win it. That's the single most important concept to get across in this process.
yeah.
It is not any one individual documentation piece of evidence. So how did it end up? You show them the narrative report. What happened?
Yeah, I went over it with the paralegal too. I went over it with them both, and
Oh,
again,
great.
the paralegal was it's pretty active paralegal in this situation, and he was impressed as well, and he appreciated just the education as well.
Yeah, because you pretty much just put the case together for the paralegal, didn't you?
That's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
this case was going. It's kind of an old case. I think it was 2018, so I think it was going before a judge for settlement. Um, Again, they were asking for so much. It went in front of the judge, uh, and I guess the city attorneys were, pushing, the second fall and some of the pre-existing, injury.
has this already gone before the judge?
It has, yeah.
What do you have you found out the verdict?
He told me he didn't get exactly what he wanted, but he did not specifically tell me the number.
And you didn't ask him.
No.
See, what I would have wanted to know is what did you expect prior to my documentation, and what did you get after my documentation?
Okay.
That would have forced him to acknowledge your value. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so how many referrals has he given you? This was the first one. How many referrals has he given you since this?
Yeah. He sent me a total of 5 patients.
Five. And this was your first one, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
5 patients. You average what, 3,000 a case?
Yeah.
3 times 5, $15,000. Would an increase of $15,000 a month be okay with you?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's $180,000 a year from one attorney presentation. One last question. Where can he go now that he's been sold? Now that we shifted his consciousness from unconscious incompetence. Can you see how he was in a state of unconscious incompetence, even though he practiced law for 30 years?
Yeah, for sure.
With a lot of the material we covered. So we take them through the educational sales presentation. We shift them from no perceived need. He had no intention on referring you those 5 clients prior to that presentation, did he?
Right. No. Yeah.
So you went from 0. You followed the marketing program. We took him through the educational sales presentation. We started shifting his awareness from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. And then we drove it home. Where else can he send patients now that he knows how bad he's in trouble by what is not being documented and supported with all of his personal injury cases? Where else can he send his clients?
Yeah. He's sending them all to me. Yeah.
He can't send them anywhere else. Now, is
Right.
that a pain or pleasure motivation?
Pain.
Pain.
Yeah.
He knows it's going to hurt to send them somewhere else. That's what gets this done. Pain motivation, not pleasure. And these chiropractors, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Stay the hell off of pleasure. It's getting you nowhere and it's going to hurt the motivation. You got the referrals because he's hurting and he doesn't want to hurt anymore. Is that not right?
Right.
That's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what's going to happen in the future. Now, what's going to happen to his memory if you don't follow up with him at all?
Yeah. Like anything, he'll forget. Yeah.
What happens to all our memory over time?
Yeah. Entropy. Forget. Yeah.
We start minimizing and forgetting, right?
Yeah.
So what's the worst thing you could do right now?
Not follow up.
Not follow. Now, when we say follow up, specifically, what am I referring to? I'm referring to constantly reminding him what? Pleasure, logic, fear. What the hell does that mean? It's constantly reminding him what is not getting done and why he's getting hurt by it and how you're not going to do it. You're going to solve that problem for him. That's what has to regularly be done to continue the reinforcement. But I'd say right now it's pretty safe to assume you're his go-to referral guy. Is that not a pretty fair statement?
Yeah.
And how much of it had to do with him liking you as a person?
Yeah. Not much at all.
Did he ever ask for your curriculum vitae?
No.
Do you see how worthless your curriculum vitae is when there's no perceived need?
Yeah.
How important was it to understand educational sales and the process to get these referrals?
Yeah. That was all of it. It's part of it. Yeah.
That was it. You didn't know how to shift them from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence through pain motivation and how to put the whole case together. You wouldn't have gotten anything, would you?
Right.
But you did. You picked it up. You learned it. Boom. You got this attorney. You've got another attorney on the hook also, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And we've only done one presentation, right?
Right. That's correct.
So we're potentially over $200,000 a year with 2 attorneys and 1 presentation. Does that sound about fair?
Yeah.
That's how powerful this is. It's worth learning.